Here we are, it's June 23rd, 2010, showing my front yard gardening all along through here. 50-foot fence with a raised bed right in front of it, and then a clover bed out through here, basically on just that first couple of feet of my front lawn. And let's see, we've got tons of great stuff going on here. This is a tomato plant here, beefsteak tomato. You can see some flowers, yellow flowers in there, and basil down below. This is a gourd, which just to feel it, feel how soft that is, hon. It just feels really cool. It's like petting a cat or something. Even the stems on this particular gourd, it's a birdhouse gourd, and you can see it shooting on up, higher than the 7-foot fence. It's just, you know, climbing for the sun, this guy.
Does it have any flowers?
This one does not yet. The flowers here are all from the tomato, but that will it will have flowers, and then the gourd will come out. And the gourds will come out. These are just some shamrocks down there. We've got all kinds of good stuff. We've got pansies here, which are edible flowers, right down here in front. And then we have the nasturtium right here, which are, I think, these really cool looking flowers. They have this really flat face to them. And those are edible flowers as well. The flowers will come and they will be very pretty when they come out. Here we've got a cherry tomato, which is just going gangbusters here. You can see, you know, some of the highest ones growing already as tall as the 7-foot fence, and here we are, it's only June 23rd. And basically, if you look in here, you can definitely see some little tomatoes getting started here on this cherry tomato plant. I just pruned some of the lower areas. Here's another. So not ripe yet, but they're coming along, and they will be doing great all summer, I'm sure. Here's some more basil out in front here. And some parsley here, the herbs basically being planted along with some marigolds right here that haven't flowered yet, but those are all things that help to keep the deer away. Here we've got cucumbers, and I've never grown cucumbers before, but they have this really pretty flower that you can see here. And if you look right at the base of the flower, this I just saw for the first time in my life this morning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, isn't it? That is the cucumber, and I don't have this camera in macro mode right now, so I guess I can't get too close. But basically, here's our cucumber coming along with its kind of bumpy, prickly skin, you know, around it. Another one down there.
There's one here.
Oh yeah, there's a nice one right there. So that is cool. And let's keep moving along here. We've got some burpy big boy tomatoes growing here that haven't flowered yet. I have some celery tucked in back there, sort of being overtaken a little bit by this gourd that's growing right here. That's on its way up. Have, you know, more cucumbers here. Again, they're just doing great. More basil, grape tomatoes back there. You can see a whole batch of them right back there. There must be, oh, I don't know how many tomatoes are around there already, but you know, 8, 10, maybe more. And that's just on that one little spot there. There's certainly more up through here, you know, as well, and more flowers. There'll be more tomatoes coming along soon. And then you can see the yellow cucumber flower back there, more tomato flowers up here. The carrots down here, growing right along. I had planted those right along the soaker. Right, planted those from seed right along the soaker hose, so that the water waters those and doesn't water the weeds in between. I have a little bit of just clippings from some irises that I replanted that I'm using as mulch, essentially. And back there, behind the netting that I used to keep the deer away, is probably, in my opinion, the most beautiful head of romaine lettuce that I've ever seen. But maybe it's like when you have your own kids and you're kind of biased, you know, towards thinking everything they do is awesome. I think that little lettuce is awesome.
Looks good.
Yeah, we should eat that today, honey.
Yeah, let's eat it.
Another cucumber plant. I've got some broccoli growing down here. I've never grown broccoli before, or cucumbers before, or herbs before actually. And speaking of herbs, right down here in front we have some thyme. And that's coming up nicely, a little bit of it. Early girl tomato here. I just had to stake it up today. We had a big rainfall yesterday and a lot of my tomato plants started to lean because it wasn't all caught up in the netting. Now here, if I don't watch it, I would trip in my little path. I would almost be ready to trip over this pumpkin plant, which was left over from last year. I did not plant it this year, but basically some seeds from one of the last year's rotten pumpkins must have self-seeded itself. And the flower looked absolutely gorgeous this morning. It's sort of withering up a bit in the heat right now, but that is cool in my opinion. And another head of romaine lettuce right back here behind some netting. Again, keep the deer away. They have not gotten into it at all this year. More marigolds, more cucumbers, more celery. My celery isn't doing as well this year as last year, but that's all right. Some more tomatoes here, La Roma. Some watermelons, and the watermelons, the plants themselves are doing great. The vines just, they're doing what they do. They spread on out, and we can just see, within the last day or two, I've seen the first flowers. In fact, you can see a little tiny bee was just on that flower there. So doing his job to help with my garden, which I greatly appreciate from those little guys. And by the way, there's another, we mentioned that one pumpkin, there's another one right out here, kind of planted itself right into my clover patch, which is great because it will have lots of room to stretch out its big old leaves. More marigolds. Back here, planted some cantaloupe, also known as muskmelon, because my wife likes cantaloupe. So that's my first time growing cantaloupe. More cucumbers. Here we get into this far end. I've got a little more watermelon, and I've got some potatoes in there, some gourds here, potato plants here, and check out these. I've never really seen these before. The flowers on the top of the potato plant. So really pretty. Little white flower with a little yellow on the inside. That's the potato or spuds, which I have planted in there, and then I kind of raised it up or mounding or earth, putting more earth around it. And then down here are some more nasturtium. Again, some edible flowers. I thought I'd put some nice pretty flowers along the front. And also back here some pansies, which are also edible flowers. More pansies over here. And then right here, this monstrosity. It doesn't look so aesthetically, beautiful right now, although to me it does. But it doesn't look as full. You can see a lot of the stems because I just pulled a bunch of those back, today because they were just going gangbusters, growing on top of my potatoes over here and growing on top of my pansies down through there. So I put in a couple of poles and I pulled these back. And I'm going to let these are gourds, I should mention what they are. They're gourds, and those gourds are going to go on up the fence. And I just today saw the first flowers on the gourds, and not only that, but it must have flowered a little bit ago because if I get in here, I actually can see the first gourd right in there. So that flower must have gotten its pollination from a local friendly bee. And pretty much that is it here for my front yard garden. Again, big bed of clover here, and then farming or growing food all along the front of this 50-foot fence, just in the first 2 feet next to the fence with a little raised bed. So that's it for now. I'm happy with my gardening. It's going great from my perspective, and I hope yours is too. If you're gardening, good luck with it, enjoy it, and that's all for now. Bye-bye.